Well, pinwheels, they're spinning in the wind at dozens throughout the upstate. Specifically one in downtown Lawrence, though, you can see candles lit as well. It's a community standing up against child abuse, saying something has to be done before there's another innocent victim. Tonight's main speaker knows all too well what just a few months of abuse can lead to. Cheryl Fowler's 2-year-old grandson was brutally murdered just 9 months ago, and she was there to spread awareness, saying it can happen to any family. Our own Kayla Convoy is live outside the Lawrence County Courthouse.
So Kayla, I know we've talked about the case of Brantley Smith a lot. What was brought up tonight at that vigil?
Well, Cheryl Fowler says she didn't know what to look for. She didn't know what the signs of abuse were. She says maybe if she did, she could have saved her grandson. So that's what she wanted everybody here tonight to know what looks like something's off before there's an innocent victim. Shoes lined the courthouse steps, each pair representing one of the open child abuse cases in Lawrence County. But when Cheryl Fowler looks at them, all she sees is Brantley.
Days go by and we think that we've moved a step or two ahead of it, and then we don't.
The date, June 30th, 2018, will always be a part of her. It's the day she lost Brantley. Deputies say he was just 2 years old, molested, beaten to death, and Cheryl says she had no idea what was going on.
It just seemed like life.
She says there were small signs, maybe a glimpse something was off here or there, but she never imagined her 3 grandsons were being abused at the hands of her daughter and her boyfriend, who were arrested. And even though it's family, she still wants justice.
Jessica is my daughter. But just because she's my daughter doesn't mean that justice shouldn't be given to her in the same way as it is anybody else in her position. The facts are going to come out.
She says for 2 months, Brantley was being abused, tortured. It's heartbreaking to wrap her head around. She says he was always the peacekeeper with 2 older brothers who would wrestle and play.
They'd be over at the house in the playroom and they'd be wrestling. The older boys would be wrestling and Brantley would grab a toy, a truck, a teddy bear, a something. And he'd walk up to them and he'd get in between them, that little tiny baby, and try and give them his toy. No, Bubba's. No bite, you know.
Cheryl and her husband, or Gogo and Papa, depending on who you ask, now have custody of the older brothers, Bobby and Brian. They say it's a blessing, but also a constant reminder.
So I look into his brother's eyes every day, and I see him. And that gives us one more day to maybe stand up and stop this.
United as a community with that same mindset, dozens looked at the small shoes left empty, blowing out a candle, hoping one day there will be change.
We were a family, just like the people seeing this are families, and we are no longer that family.
The sheriff, the police chief, and the mayor were all there tonight talking about the alarming statistics here in Lawrence County. The sheriff saying almost every day he has to place a call to DSS because of a neglect situation or an abuse situation. He says it's happening far too often. Just yesterday, he tells me they had to remove a child from a home. So he wants everybody out there to be on the lookout for small signs of abuse. Reporting live in Lawrence County, Kayla Convoy, Fox Carolina, the 10 o'clock news.